Hey, hello, hi. So I was in the middle of the scripting the next episode, and it will be out soon. It will be out sooner than you think it is. But in the meanwhile, I wanted to talk about this one ghazal that essentially got me into ghazals in the first place. Like this was the ghazal that made me think like, ooh, ghazals might have the sauce after all. And I want to talk about it not in a way to give it a deeper analysis like I did or a retrospective analysis with the Bulea video. This is a lot more about, I'm just going to talk about the ghazal. I'm going to gush about it. I'm going to talk about every lyrics and what I think it means. And this I wanted to be a lot more like ghazals are cool, guys. You all should also get into ghazals. Or if you are already into ghazals, let's gush about this together. So this is actually quite a popular ghazal. This is like LeBron James of ghazals. It's by the author Hafeez Jalandhari, and the ghazal's name is title is Dil Abhi Tak Jawan Hai Pyare. So the ghazal starts off with obviously the title verse. It goes, Dil Abhi Tak Jawan Hai Pyare, Kis Musibat Mein Jaan Hai Pyare. So the literal translation of this is obviously that my heart is still young, and there is no calamity in this world that has the soul to kind of challenge me, to kind of crush it. So our author here is कि किस मुसीबत में जान है प्यारे. So our author is kind of challenging any calamity out there that would crush his Jawan dil if it has the possibility to. But it's more or less rhetorically implying that there is no calamity out there that can do that anyways. So the second verse goes, तू मेरे हाल का ख्याल ना कर, तू मेरे हाल का ख्याल ना कर, इसमें भी एक शान है प्यारे. So the literal translation of that is that you should not be concerned about the state I am in. You should not be concerned about the kind of situation I've been put into, because regardless of wretched I am, there is still some sense of pride in this. There is still some sense of glory in my situation that I'm in. And this again like falls right into the themes of romanticizing your misery, romanticizing your melancholic solitude, and that, as you guys know, is right in my lane. So already had on the second verse I was like, I kind of bond with this ghazal. The third verse is kind of the I think this is the bread and butter of this verse, this ghazal. It goes, तल्ख कर दी है जिंदगी जिसने, तल्ख 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 कर दी है जिंदगी जिसने, कितनी मीठी जबान है प्यारे. So talq here means bitter, and so the author is trying to tell you about the dichotomy of the situation that he is in. That the situation he is in has also made his life bitter, but it's also so sweet at the same time. How can something so bitter be so sweet simultaneously? And that is kind of the situation our author is in. Now, we don't know if this is actually a sweet, bittersweet situation, or if our author is too miserable and is the only way to cope for him is through romanticizing. But whatever it is, he is happy in the situation. He is saying that although this is so bitter for me, this is also very sweet. How he's also questioning, how can it something so bitter be so sweet? The fourth verse is, वक्त कम है ना छेड़ हजर की बात, वक्त कम है ना छेड़ हजर की बात, ये बड़ी दास्तान है प्यारे. Now this literally translates to that our author is saying that we have less time on our hand, and you should not talk about our separation that is imminent, that is inevitable, because our tale is much grander than this. We serve a grander narrative than this, and this small hiccup that this imminent separation is going to be between us will not impact the things in the long run. So let's not waste our time talking about the tales of separation when we are supposed to meet again, and we are supposed to live again, and we are supposed to kind of reenact our roles in this play again. So the next verse is, जाने क्या कह दिया था रोज़े अज़ल, जाने क्या कह दिया था रोज़े अज़ल, आज तक इम्तिहान है प्यारे. Now रोज़े अज़ल is day of writing a person's destiny. So our author is kind of questioning ki, what destiny was he designated? What was written in his destiny that to this day he is being tested for it? To this day he is serving the trial of his destiny. Like to this day he has to go through the Agni Pariksha, what they say. The next verse is, हम हैं बंदे मगर तेरे बंदे, ये हमारी भी शान है प्यारे. Now this kind of this is again literal translations mean, but we are men, we are your men, and even this carries a certain sense of pride for us. There is a certain glory in this. This is my glorious purpose, as Loki would say. The next verse is, हमें नाम है इसका नशे ए मुशफिक, नाम है इसका नशे ए मुशफिक, ये मेरा मेहरबान है प्यारे. Now again, this is the point where I kind of, the ambiguity and the vagueness of the ghazal kind of takes a toll on me, because I'm like, what does this mean? So he says that now nase e mushfiq means a guy who is your well wisher or who is your friend who wants good for you. तो नाम है इसका नशे मुशफिक, ये मेरे मेहरबान है प्यारे. So this is my blessing. I don't know who the well wisher is. I don't know what the blessing is, but I think it is trying to somewhat imply that there is a feeling that is a well wisher for me, and I am blessed that I have that. I don't know where this is coming from, but I maybe that if I get context, I'll provide it in the next one. The next verse goes, कब किया मैंने इश्क का दावा, कब किया मैंने इश्क का दावा, तेरा अपना गुमान है प्यारे. So here the author is kind of going through a very interesting arc. So here author says that when did I imply that whatever I'm saying to you has any romantic inclinations to it? When did I ever say that whatever I'm saying to you has any sense coming from originating from any sense of romantic feelings on my part? That's your own presumptuous proclamation that I am saying all of that. I am not saying any of that. You are too egoistical to think that I am saying that all of this is coming from a place of romanticism. And although you might say that you might understand where the author is coming from, the more we read, we'll understand that we can also see where the spectator is coming from. So the next verse kind of goes, मैं तुझे बेवफा नहीं कहता, दुश्मनों का बयान है प्यारे. So here our author is trying to defend himself by saying that I don't say that you are bewafa. I am not calling you two-faced or fickle or someone who would betray me. That's the enemies that wish downfall upon us. They are spreading the rumors that I'm saying all of this to you, which again I don't know how reliable our narrator is, but let's take his word for it. Why not? So after that, this is where it kind of starts getting interesting. सारी दुनिया को है गलत फहमी, मुझ पे तो मेहरबान है प्यारे. Now I think this again, I was not sure where this was coming from, but I think it comes from a place where our author says that the world has a misunderstanding that I am in misery, that I am miserable. For me, this is a blessing. I am blessed to be in this situation. I am so blessed to be in the situation I am in, which maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Who are we to judge? It's a subjective matter really, but I think this kind of implies that objectively from the outside perspective it would look like our author is suffering. Now the next verse is, तेरे कूचे में है सुकून वरना हर जमीन आसमान है प्यारे. Now the literal translation of this is that the only peace I find is in your galiya, is in your lanes where you live, the lane that you live in, the area, your periphery. That's the only place where I find any sense of stability or peace or grounding. Because other than that, every zameen, all land is essentially as unstable as sky. There is nowhere to place my foot on. Anywhere I try to place my foot on, I just get this feeling of falling that you would if you try to step on sky, I guess. But yeah, the next 4 verses are brings all the feelings of the author together and takes you away from the unreliable narratorness that has been going on for a while. So here the author says, खैर फरियाद बेअसर ही सही, खैर फरियाद बेअसर ही सही, जिंदगी का निशान है प्यारे. Now I think personally this is my favorite verse from this, because the literal translation of this is ki khair matlab anyways, even if my faryad, my appeal, my plea, my demanding of my desires might go unheard, unseen, unrewarded, it doesn't matter, because even if it is futile, even if my appeals are unheard, are on deaf ears, it is a significance. It is an indication of my life. It is indication that I'm alive. It shows that I am still alive. I am breathing. I am living. I am desiring. I am demanding, and all of that signifies that there is still some life in me, which also kind of on a second layer implies that till I am alive, I will keep having a faryad for you, which is also equally beautiful if you think about it. Now, the next verse goes, शर्म है ऐतराज है क्या है, पर्दा सा है दरमिया है परे. So I'll say it again. शर्म है ऐतराज है क्या है, पर्दा सा दरमियान है प्यारे. Now this implies that there is a parda between us. A parda means a partition. There is a separation between the two of us. So the what is that partition really? What is the distance between us? Is it sharm? Is it shame? Is it ऐतराज? Is it reluctance? I don't know what it is. There is something between us. The next verse is अर्ज ए मतलब समझ के हो ना खफा ये तो एक दास्तान है प्यारे. Now this says that अर्ज ए मतलब समझ के हो ना खफा ये तो एक दास्तान है प्यारे. अर्ज ए मतलब means that expression of desire. So don't be mad at me for this expression of desire that is through this ghazal, because this is again a tale, this is a story, this is a fictional thing. I do not actually feel this way about you. You don't need to be mad at me for this. You don't need to be angry about this towards me. This is just a story. Come on. But the last verse, he says, जंग छिड़ जाए हम अगर कह दे, जंग छिड़ जाए हम अगर कह दे, ये हमारी जबान है प्यारे. So a war would be waged and there would be a huge fight among us if I were to say that this is how I actually feel about you. So again, even in the end, you can say he left it for open to interpretation, but we clearly see that our author is trying to say that if I was to say this is how I actually feel about you and the sense of romanticism that I have for you, then we would have a big fight over this. And that's how the ghazal ends. Obviously, this is a really good ghazal. The thing is, on Rekhta, there is only one comment below this ghazal, and that says "Bahut khoob." And Wasim Khan, who said this 4 years ago, I cannot disagree with you. This is a great ghazal, and this is a ghazal that I honestly spent a lot of time reading and speaking on, mostly while recording this video, because I fumble so much while making ghazal. This is my 7th attempt at recording the 12 minutes video that this is. But yeah, that was about it. I think I fumbled slightly in this video, but I have taken too many reshoots, and this is way over my head of one take policy that I usually have. But I hope you enjoyed it. My last video got copyrighted. I don't know how a 15 views video gets copyrighted. But anyways, hope you guys liked it. Think well. The new episode is coming. It will be on Perception. See you soon. Bye. Yeah.